What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Strokes Gained PGA DFS preview. I'm your host, Travis Mangone, back with the usual crew after a big week. Let's talk to the guy who won all the money last week. Hoop, how's it going over there? How's life with all the big stacks underneath the mattress?
Yeah, it was a good week. I mean, not only for me, but I think anyone that read our content or, subscribe to the Discord chat, anything related to our PGA content, anyone that paid attention likely made some money last week. I mean, we were all over it. I mean, just about everyone said lock Bryson. Any coordinator, any piece of content, we were all, close to all in on Bryson. AP's favorite value play came through in a big way. Mr. Matthew Wolf finishing second. So it was a good week all around. And, the important part about DFS is not getting too high on those wins and continuing to grind. And, that's what I'll be looking to do this week. And, hopefully we can go back to back, right?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Hopefully we can get a little back-to-back here. I'm excited. Hopefully it all works out and we can get another big week. And we're going to be grinding to try and make that happen. Let's go to you next, AP. How's it going over there? How's the move? I know you're dealing with moving, so tell the people about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're building a house right now, and hopefully Hoop will help me pay for it. I mean, that'd be nice. But it's just been kind of brutal. Sunday was a ton of fun because we had so many people sweating some big money. My lineups were obviously doing good. I was one of the guys where I didn't build a ton of lineups, and I was one of those guys that had 5 of 6 through in every lineup, and so I didn't have that 6 of 6, but I still had a phenomenal cash rate. I think I made 5 times of my money, which is always going to be a great week. But man, Hoopster, congratulations. That's just a phenomenal win. And the thing I love most about Hoopster is I'm sitting there texting him on Sunday, all pumped up, going crazy. And he's like, yep, it was awesome, but back to work on Monday. So I love that attitude, love the grind. And that's why we're here and that's why we're doing this. And I'm pumped for Murfield back to back. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped too. It should be a fun tournament. I'll admit, this going through the salaries and trying to break everything down, it hasn't been as easy this week. Last week, it just felt easy. It was play Bryson, like we talked about, lock him in, and then just mix and match the guys you like. And I'm struggling a bit at the top. I'll say that. So I'm kind of excited to talk with you guys about it more and really break it down. Hoop, how about you dive in? Give us the course breakdown. What's this course going to look like for the people?
Yeah, so it's par 72 for 4 par 5s. Typically, most of the field can reach the par 5s and 2, but I know at least on a couple of the holes, they extended the yardage a little bit. So it'll be a little more difficult for some of the guys that can't really bomb it out there, but most of the field will be able to get there in 2 on basically all these par 5s. Smaller greens, so approach shots are important. The talk is that, the tournament's back to back, obviously. This week, the greens are projected to be a little bit slower, and then next week they're going to speed them up. And typically putting is not very important here. It's just easier greens to putt on in general. We've seen some bad putters do pretty well here. So that brings some guys into play that, typically we don't like to play because they're such horrid putters. Hideki, we'll get to him for sure. But yeah, this course, like I said, it's par 72, 4 par 5s. And, the rough can be kind of penile. But, I mean, the issue is with a lot of these events, it's these fields are just so much stronger than we typically see. So it'll be interesting. So, yeah, I'm curious to your guys' take, too, as we go through the field here.
Yeah, because like I said, this field is stacked definitely at the top. And there's an argument for a lot of these guys. So, like I said, I'm excited to break it down. Let's go to you first, AP. I think the guy at the top, Justin Thomas, is someone that you're interested in. It felt like you foreshadowed it in one of our chats, and I want to get your take on him. Talk to me about Justin Thomas because, we talk about par 4s. He's a monster at those type of events. It seems like he could rate out pretty well here. So what do you think about Justin Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, I like Justin Thomas. I think he's by far one of the best in the world. Obviously, I think he's ranked 4th in the world right now. But I just think that this is a ball striker's course. And is his ball striking really on point elite right now? It's not. It's just slightly off. But I like targeting those guys. And when you look at this, and if you look at his price, I think he's going to make for an excellent tournament play. I think either this week or next week, I could see him winning for sure. I know it's not a hot take because I haven't looked at the Vegas odds yet, but I'm sure he's probably a favorite. But in this top range, the other guy I really like is Patrick Cantlay. Over the past 2 years, he's gained a ton of strokes on approach here. I think this is a course that really suits his eye. I think he knows where he needs to hit it off the tee, and then he knows how to attack these greens. And these greens are really small. And when his irons are on, he's a proximity monster. And probably Justin Thomas is going to be my main tournament play. But like when I'm looking at my single entry and my 3max events, I'm probably going to start with a guy like Patrick Cantlay. And I'm just going to hope that maybe he's a bit lower owned. I'm not sure exactly where he'll land because I think he's only had one event since we've been back and PGA's been back. The other guy I like in this range is Xander as well. I think he's just been playing really well. I think he'll make for a great tournament play.
One thing you mentioned about Cantlay, which I thought was interesting, obviously how good he's been on this course. But one thing I wanted to mention was that first event he came back, it didn't seem like he was that great, but he gained strokes in every part of his game. And that's something that's, valuable, right? It shows that he doesn't have a leak right now. There's not something that's, struggling for him. So I'm definitely interested in him. The course history has me wanting to play him, but man, there's a guy right next to him. And Hoop, I know you're interested. Brooks, what are we doing with him? Because I think this is a great spot for him. We got the narrative too going with him. Making fun of Bryson, talking on Twitter. So listen, you can't be talking crap and then go out there and shoot and miss the cut. So what do you think about Brooks this week?
Yeah, so Brooks is, he's a guy I've been on a little bit here since the return. His ownership has been low, basically all the events since the PGA returned. But he's like a narrative-based guy. He's shows up for the majors, doesn't show up for some of these other events. And when there's narratives around him, I'm interested. And there's kind of a narrative this week. Kind of poking at Bryson a little bit. His game's trending in the right direction. This is a course that should fit him pretty well. So I am definitely interested in Brooks. I don't think the ownership will be all that high. I'm going to be on him. My favorite up here, I think, is Matsuyama. It's a course, like I said, where putting isn't all that important. Yeah, obviously putting is always important, but I don't think this is a course where Hideki's putting skills will take him out of contention. His irons are really good. Kind of got some positive things going last week. Should have had a better finish and par 5 at the end. Last week in the rough, I think he kind of chipped out into the water and cost him a couple strokes. So the finish should have been better. Still finished. What was it? T20, T21. So I'll be going back to him this week. I really like the price too, 10K. So Brooks, Hideki, and then my last spot I'm kind of torn on. I'm either going to go Rahm or Cantlay up here. I initially was leaning Rahm. Now I'm kind of more on the Cantlay train. So I'll see. I'll make that decision most likely tomorrow, but not too sure what I'm going to do between those two. But I only want to play probably three of these guys above 10K.
Well, that's okay, Hoop, because if you want to, find out who those are, you can subscribe to Run Pure Sports, right? Get your core plays, get your tier rankings. Hoop will be giving all that. He'll be on the playbook too. So, Hoop will be doing a ton of that. Guys, if you could, please hit that like and subscribe on this video. It helps us out a ton. We're going to have the free content for you guys. But the like and subscribes helps us a ton. And again, wanted to mention, if you do want to subscribe to Run Pure Sports, AP, can you tell them about the deal we have going on? Because we have a deal that goes on till the end of tomorrow.
Yeah, we just got a 25% off tied to the 4th of July. We're running it for a week, and I believe, as Mangone just said, it ends tomorrow. But you can get 25% off the weekly price, so that takes it down to from 20 to 15 a week, or you can get 25% off the 120 price, which takes it down to right around $90, and that gets you access to everything. So like everything you saw last week, the 400K that Hoopster won. And then we had another guy win 150K off of one of the templates there, and all of that, for like $90 and through August. So I think it's a fabulous deal.
Yeah, I agree. And he didn't even mention like the Discord chat, right? We get the Discord chat in there. It is like so valuable. JSU's been doing the TBT content in there, and it's been awesome. Big T, he didn't know what the TBT was a week ago. Neither did JSU, right? And they just did some research, grinded it out, and you get access to them and their guys who are winning in that, right? JSU won 7K this weekend. Big T just won like 7.5K. So yeah, it's an awesome time. Get in that Discord chat, guys. There's tons of awesome content that we have going on there for all the different niche sports. You can find LOL, CSGO, so many different things. We got playbooks for everything. So guys, check that out. Before we kind of move on from this range, I do want to kind of get a rankings on the top range. If you give your top three guys, that would be, I think that's the number we should pick here. AP, who are your top three guys in the top tier?
Yeah, it's tough. So like I would say my top tournament guy is Justin Thomas. And I will say, so like this course is normally played at the Memorial, which we'll see next week. His last round here, he shot like an 80. So it is what it is, and bad scores can be had here. But I love targeting those guys because they typically end up being lower owned. And a guy like Justin Thomas, he's not always going to hit it bad. And with me, I kind of like to ride a guy out until they absolutely smash. And I think Justin Thomas is really close to doing that. I think there's just little things that he needs to tweak with his game. A lot of it was off the tee at some of those places. And I feel like the landing areas are going to be a little bit better here. So I'll say Justin Thomas 1. I'll say Patrick Cantlay 2. And I'll say Xander 3.
All right, Hoop, real quick, before you go and talk about your guys, I want to mention one thing about Brooks that, I wanted to say earlier. If you didn't know this, Hoop, I know Justin Ray Golf tweeted this. He talked about how since the hiatus, right, only 8 rounds so far for Brooks putting. But entering the hiatus, he was minus 0.71 in, putting strokes gained per round. Since the restart, he's plus 1.06. So something's working there with the putter for him. Obviously, that's a stat that can flip, but when Brooks is having a good putter, it's a good time to ride him out. So is he your number one guy in this range?
Yeah, for tournaments, it's him. It's going to be like Brooks, Hideki, and then I guess it depends what I do there between Rahm and Cantlay, but one of those two as my third.
All right. For me, I'm putting Cantlay and Brooks as like my 1A, 1B. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to flip-flop them. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then third, I'd probably put Justin Thomas. And it pains me not to be on Hideki, but I don't know if I'm going to be on him as much. We'll have to see if I can get talked into him, throughout the week. But let's dive in. Let's talk about the next range. What about this 9K range? I think there's some pretty good options here. We'll kick it off with you, AP. Are you going back to a Colin Morikawa after the missed cut, after trying to break the Tiger narrative? Do you think he's still okay, or are you looking to some other guys?
Yeah, I think he's a fabulous play here. Just like I said with Justin Thomas, I love going to these guys that struggled with an area of game which they normally excel. And with Morikawa, that's his ball striking and his strokes gained on approach. A guy like that does not we're not going to see this trend where he continues to struggle. He's going to bounce back. He had a week off last week, and I believe he did. I feel very confident about him. Coming back. So I think he's a fabulous play in this range, and maybe we get a lower owned. I haven't looked at those ownership numbers yet, but another guy I like in this range, 9K range. So I mean, it's kind of there's not a ton of options here, and so when I think of ball strikers, Justin Rose is going to be another guy that comes to mind. And honestly, you can say Victor Hovland. You can put him right in that list too. I kind of wonder, is Hovland, he's played in every single event since golf has resumed. So you got to wonder if that's going to have any impact on him or not. I mean, he's a young guy, probably not. But I think it's really interesting. But for me in this range, I think Morikawa is definitely my favorite play.
All right, Hoop, how about you? Hovland's a guy that we've been riding out, and, the around the green game wasn't so good pre-quarantine, but it's been better post. I think he's someone that you could be interested in. What's your take on Hovland and everyone else in this range?
Yeah, so I'm very high on Hovland here. 9.5K, just playing phenomenal golf. I mean, at least top 23 in all events since the return. played very well last week. He was in my main lineup that did really well on Draftkings and actually on FanDuel. He was in both of them. So I was watching that last round. He's sticking it to 13, 12 feet or closer on every hole. I mean, literally could not hit a putt. He makes a few of those. He could have easily been, 4, 5, 6 under par on that last round, and the finish would have been a lot better. But he wasn't hitting them. And when it comes to golf, putting the variance is very, very high. But I'll be back on him this week. His iron's been phenomenal around the green. Like you said, his improved quite a bit. Back on him. And then I agree with you guys on Morikawa. Like, he's been one of our favorite guys, over the course of, the return to PGA. And, sucked last tournament, kind of fizzled the tournament before that, took a week off. Hopefully he gets his game back together. I mean, was one of the best iron players in the game for, a decent stretch there. And, hopefully the week off helped him a little bit. He can get back on track. 9.2K is a fair price tag. So those two are my favorites. You guys know I'm always fading Ricky. It hasn't bitten me yet, and I'm gonna stick on that bandwagon. Like, he just doesn't win. So like, I haven't played him. Why would I get back on board now? So I'll continue to fade him. I have slight interest in Rose. Just got to see how much room I have for these guys up top. But he came off. He's 3 under last tournament after round 1. Was in good position to make the cut, and just like had a lackluster round 2. Missed a ton of small putts. Just looked not interested. So I think he bounces back. It's just a matter if I have enough room up top to fit him in.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say, Hoop, was I didn't even have to address you when I was in the playbook putting some fades down. I was like, there's no way Hoop is playing Ricky Fowler here in this spot. And sure, Ricky charged on Sunday and had a good day, but he always, he's never going to do that leading. He always struggles.
No, whenever he's not in contention, he'll put up one of those big round 4s, put up a nice score. But if he's in contention, that score is not happening. I can promise you that.
Yeah, and you know what? Some people really hate to see not just Big T winning, right? There are subscribers who won money in the TBT. Shout out to Wake Up Millions, man. He won 3.5K in the TBT today. Took a first place down in one of the tournaments. So wanted to give a shout out to him. Saw that on the Twitter. Was wondering why the notifications were blowing up, and that's why. So we got coordinators winning. We got subscribers winning. So happy to see Wake Up the Millions win that one. I guess let's give our final thoughts on this range. AP, who are your 2 guys? It's only 4 guys in this range. So who are your 2 guys that you'd have? I would say for me, it's Morikawa 1 and Justin Rose 2. I think Justin Rose's tee to green game has been so strong as of late with the new irons. And if you look at stats, it's kind of skewed based on the past data with the different irons. So that's where I would rank them. What about you, AP?
Yeah, I think I'm going to say Morikawa 1, and I'm going to say Hovland 2. I just think that we get 4 par 5s here. That's just going to put Hovland in play. I mean, that guy just makes eagles like you can't believe. So,
how about you, Hoop? Same thing there for you. It sounds like you'd be in agreement.
Hovland, Morikawa, those 2. I like the best in that range for sure.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will say when building lineups, that $200 has mattered, and I could see myself going from Rose to Hovland, but I do think it's a tough call there. But we'll have to see how it all shakes up. Let's talk about this next range, because this is where things start getting a little more interesting. This 8K range is not the prettiest in my opinion. There's some guys that I don't really want to roster. We all know we're fading Spieth, of course. I think the lower 8Ks is more of an interesting spot. Hoop, how about you kick it off for us here? Talk about the 2 guys I know you're going to love in the 8K range.
Yeah, the Spieth thing, it's easy for the RPS team because we're all, I mean, that's one guy we can all huddle around and say fade every week. And it's worked out for the most part. And he's a guy that's going to be a staple name in that fade part of the playbook moving forward, most likely, especially at 8.6. I can't imagine playing at 8.6, but there's a lot more fades in this range for me, to be honest with you. Sung JM was a guy we were on early on, just has not been great, and the price hasn't come down. I mean, he's still up there, 8.9K cut, T58, T53. Something is not right, and I don't know if this is a course where he's going to get it back on track. So I'm off him. You guys know my story with Reed. I mean, a guy I typically do not play. Played him a few weeks ago. It didn't work out, so I'm back to just not playing him. So I'll make it easy on myself and continue to fade him. Leishman, 8.7K for Leishman. I'm not going there. I do think this course fits his game quite well, but I'm not paying 8.7 for Leishman. Haven't seen much out of him. Spieth, like we said, a fade. And then a couple guys that I have some interest in. I think Neiman's in play at 8.4K. You want guys that can go out there and win and contend and not just make cuts. And Neiman has proven that he can do that. He can get up there with even in loaded fields and contend. So I like him at 8.4. I'm a Woodland guy. I mean, I always play at Woodland. I'm going to play him again this week at 8.3. Just a matter of how much. I haven't figured out what percentage I'm going to dedicate to him, but he'll definitely be in my player pool at 8.3. Hadwin was a guy that on the Monday Peel that I said I didn't have too much interest in. Kind of changed course on that a little bit. His irons have just been phenomenal. Finished T4 last week. He's made all 3 cuts. I'm going to play him a little bit at 8.2K, maybe more than a little bit. He's really growing on me this week. Mr. Wolf got it done for us last week. Really poor round 4. I mean, I don't know if it was the nerves or what, but missed a lot of short putts and just didn't have it going. Gets a big price increase. I'm gonna fade this week for sure. He won't be in my lineups after that letdown. Fitzpatrick is a guy that I typically like, and I'll play him at 8K. Like at 8K, I think he's better golfer overall than most of these guys in the range. And then Bubba Watson, still kind of torn on him. Maybe a couple darts, but would not allocate a lot of ownership to him.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about this range, Adam Hadwin, he gained strokes in all parts of his game last week. And obviously, like if you're doing that, right, there's no holes in your game. That's a strong sign, I think, of someone that could be clicking and playing pretty good golf. So I'm definitely gonna look to him. I felt like I missed him and he was an oversight last week. So I don't know. I'm looking at him definitely as a guy that could be interesting. AP, talk to me about Matty Wolf. Can we pay that price? You were the Matty Wolf guy last week. I'm assuming you're not as high on him this week. I'm sure you'll have some other cheapie that you can give the people. They'll be listening for that one for sure. But are we playing Matty Wolf at 8.1K AP?
I mean, like the price increase is just crazy. And I don't know I don't think he's going to be owned this week. I mean, that price jump is just going to take so many people off of him. And we have so many elite names in this range. He's a guy even after that, after that 4th round where he just didn't have it. He couldn't drop putts. He made a few just dumb mistakes. And Bryson was just in the zone. But I don't think he's going to be phased. I think he could come back and put up a good score. I don't know if I like this course for him. Last week, I thought the course fit him really well. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards fading him because there's so many other guys I like in this range that I feel are just mispriced. And so I'll just leave it at that. I mean, if he was like low 7K range, I would hop back on again. Unfortunately, he's not. And so I would say like a deep tournament play only on Matty Wolf. Where I'm going this week, I like Matt Kuchar. I think he's won at this course. I like Joaquin Niemann, 8.4K. I think those are 2 staples. Niemann is such a good ball striker. The thing about Kuchar, if you look at his last, since we've been back from quarantine, his approach game sucks. He ranks 92 against these other golfers in his field over that time period. And that's just something he's historically, he's been awesome on approach and he's been a great ball striker. And this is a course where he can absolutely, gain strokes tee to green all throughout his game, and he should do really well. We just need him to start playing well is what we need. So I like Kuchar a lot, and the guy I have a ton of interest in this week is Matthew Fitzpatrick, down there right at 8K. He's getting Phil Mickelson's old caddy on the bag, Jim Bones McKay. I just heard that today, just listening to PGA stream. And so I just think that's interesting. Bones, he has a contract with, I think, NBC or one of those news channels, and he's been doing coverage. I mean, this guy could caddy for literally anyone he wants to. He could pick and choose who he wants to caddy for. He just hasn't. And then the opportunity came because Fitzpatrick's caddy is staying back over the pond. And so Fitzpatrick needed a guy in the bag. And so I think a guy like Bones could give someone like Fitzpatrick a ton of confidence for this event. So I have a lot of interest in him at 8K. And besides the caddy point, I just think this course really fits his game. I mean, he's a good ball striker. He ranks number 1 in putting since we've been back on since golf has resumed in this field. And so you put some of those things together at 8K, he could definitely post the top 10, which would pay off that salary. And then Gary Woodland is the other guy. I just think he's too cheap at 8,300. And so that's where it's just, for me, it's a struggle with Matt Wolff. Like, you got Gary Woodland, Neiman, Kuchar, Fitzpatrick that I have all ranked ahead of Wolff. So that's basically where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, listen, those are really good guys in that range. And I like that Fitzpatrick call. He's a guy I think could get lower owned. So I think he's a guy I'm going to be getting some tournament exposure to. One thing I did want to mention with Woodland, he definitely has a water problem. I don't know if we know how many water holes are on here, but he has had a water problem lately. So that's something I might look at. Hoop, do you know if there's a ton of water on this course?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more water than we saw last week. I think they said, man, I don't know the exact number, but I thought like 10, 12, 13 holes, like there's some water. So he's just had the issues been these blow up holes, like double bogey at a quadruple a couple tournaments ago. He's just getting into trouble just so frequently. It's frustrating. But I mean, to me, it's like, you have to imagine like that's just a fluky thing and eventually kind of, rights that ship. But it's been frustrating as a person that has rostered Gary Woodland a lot lately.
Yeah, I was just curious because, like I said, I don't normally always dig into that as much, and probably need to do a better job of that. So I was just curious because I know he's had a problem with that for sure. Let's rank these guys in this range. AP, give me your 3 guys that you think in the 8K are your most important pieces.
Oh man, that's so if I had to rank them, gosh, honestly, I'll put Kuchar number 1. I've missed with him the last few times he's been out. He's not looked good. So I think he's going to be number 1 for me on tournaments, like my main tournament squad. Then I'm going to say, then I got to say Neiman. And then I'm split between Fitzpatrick and Woodland. So that's how I'm going to rank it.
All right, Hoop, how about you? How are you rating these guys?
Woodland, Hadwin, and Fitzpatrick. I like the Fitzpatrick call. And he's a guy that's usually low owned. Like, not many people play him, so it's easy to get leverage on Fitzpatrick week in and week out.
Yep, I love the Fitzpatrick call in tournaments. Definitely going to be on him. I'd probably go like Woodland 1, Hadwin 2, and maybe Kuchar 3. I love the Kuchar course history narrative, but I think he kind of turns it around. This isn't a guy that's going to, the stats I see now, I'm not buying, and just kind of like what AP said. So I agree with that. Let's move on to this 7K range. We'll do the 7.9 to the 7.5. Hoop, kick it off for us here. There's some decent guys in here. Streelman's a guy that catches my eye. My boy, as Big T likes to make fun of me, Scotty Scheffler. He's in this range. So who do we got here in this range?
What was the proposal? Big T said he'd take who over Scheffler?
Yeah, so Big T, you're in the chat. You're laughing. Number 12 cornhole player and the women's cornhole player in the world. Big T is in the chat. You said you would take Jason Day over Scotty Scheffler in DFS. So I wanted to propose I take Scotty Scheffler in a bet, and you get to take dusty old Jason Day because you're talking so much smack on the Monday morning peel. So Big T, I'm coming for it, and I want to make a bet: Jason Day versus Scotty Scheffler.
Mangone on some of those giblets.
All those giblets he won.
The female cornhole giblets. Mangone wants a taste of them.
I do. So proposing that to Big T, we'll see what he says in the chat. But tell me your guys in this range.
Yeah, so going down from the top here, and I know Benion's a guy that people are going to play, ball striker type course. But man, it feels like anytime I roster Benion, it just does not work out one way or another. So I'm leaning towards fading him. I think he'll have some ownership. He's a name, people are already talking about him. I think I'm going to fade. Streelman, I mean, just 7.8K for Streelman, like 4 par 5s. I'm going to pass. Like, I'm not paying that price tag. I've been on the Scheffler sucks train with Big T over the last couple weeks. but I think I might play him a little bit this week. I mean, he's just like, it has to be a good tournament play. Look at last week, 79 round 1, 65 round 2. Like, the volatility is crazy. He's a guy I want to play in tournaments. I don't think the ownership will be high just because of how bad he's been. So I'm going to play him. Joel Damon's a guy kind of overlooked. Guy typically don't play, but man, he's been playing some good golf. 19, 48, 20th. He's been solid since the return. 7.7K. Like, I'm gonna give him a look for sure. Another guy that's been playing well, Varner. We were on him last week, and he didn't disappoint. I mean, his irons have been very solid. 32nd, 30th, last 2 events, 7.5K. The price has come down. Like, I really like him. I like Poulter. Like, that's kind of a name down here that it looks like he belongs a little bit higher, a few hundred higher than the 7.5K price tag. And, he's another guy I know that can contend in these events. Then, in honor of our boy Snyder, Snyder just loves this guy, and I think we'd be remiss to not mention him. That's Maverick McNeely. He's been on him, and the results have been solid too. 7.5K. I definitely have some interest. He made all 3 cuts since the return, and it's a modest price tag, and he's a guy that's capable of racking up a lot of birdies in a hurry. So I'm going to play some McNeely in honor of our boy Snyder here.
All right. And we got Big T in the chat. He says he'll take Benny on over Scheffler. Big T, you said Jason Day. That's what I want, because you said it. I got a recording. I'll take Jason Day over Scotty Scheffler. That's what you said. So you always try and pull this on me. You go, oh, pony up. Oh, come on, man. Going, you said that. Like, you say this all the time, Big T. So take Jason Day. That's who you said. Let's go to AP now. AP, talk to me about this range. Tons of different golfers to like, obviously. Wonder if you like in Snyder's boy there too.
You're just trying to steal money, man. Going Jason Day versus Scotty Scheffler. I mean,
well, listen, you can't go on a podcast and say Mangone says this guy suck or is so
Jason
good.
Day
He
sucks.
No,
Oh,
I know,
so
but
bad.
he said it. They're his words. That's all I'm trying to say. Go back to the tape, like the chat is saying. He said he would take Dusty Jason Day over him. So that's all I'm saying.
Oh, man. This range is tough. It's really tough. And actually, Big T is going to love this call. But I got a lot of interest in Billy Horschel. This play reminds me of Kevin Kisner last week. I mean, we saw Kiz just have, he looked atrocious. Like, he was unplayable. And then he bounced back. And I don't even know what did Kisner finish last week? Or am I dreaming about it? Wasn't he top 5 or something? He had an awesome Sunday.
He was third.
He did.
Third. Yeah. So
he got third.
Billy Ho, I think if my memory serves me right, last year at the Memorial, I think he logged a 9th place finish or something. And he tore up this course. And he's a ball striker. We haven't seen it yet. I just see him doing kind of what Kisner did last week. And hopefully he goes lower owned. I mean, if Benny On is going to be popular, I'm not paying 7-9 for Benny On if he's going to be chalky. I'd much rather fade that and watch that guy 3-putt and miss the cut. We've seen it happen over and over again. At the same time, Benny On is definitely a ball striker. I would just rather, pivot to a different ball striker in Billy Horschel and get a discount, a $400 discount. So the other guy I like in this, the thing about him is we know him as a ball striker. What's been working, which is kind of surprising. He's been great. And
yeah.
Right.
So we've got some technical difficulties there.
Is it AP side or is it my side?
Yeah, it's AP side.
Is am I back?
Yeah, I think you're back now, AP.
Oh, I apologize, guys. I just made the move. Internet connection. We're just testing it out. But so Billy Horschel for me and Ian Poulter are my main 2 guys.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like I said, I love Poulter and Varner. I don't know if one of you guys mentioned Varner. He's been struggling with the putting, but everything else has been like lights out.
Yeah, his irons have been really good, really strong.
Yeah, so those are probably my 2 favorite if I had to pick. Who are your 2 favorite in this range?
Yeah, in this range, it's definitely going to be it's definitely Poulter. It's going to be probably those two. Honestly, I like Poulter. I like Varner. Those two are probably my favorite. I hate to agree with you, but I'm with you.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm in good company right now, so that's good. It's good to hear. I will say, Big T is in the chat saying there's no way he said it. Play the tape. I muted myself and started playing the tape, and I'm at some spot where they're talking about the 7K range. So I'm gonna find this by the end of the show. I'm determined because I swear I heard it right. We'll have to see. Some people are asking. It's on the Monday Morning Field podcast. So guys, it's on our iTunes channel. So please go subscribe to the iTunes if you want to get updated when we come out with content. Listen, we're going to have football content on there, basketball, tons of different stuff. So, it might be a little lighter with the content we have right now, but that thing's going to pick up quick. So please go subscribe to it now while you can. Ratings and reviews are appreciated, and the likes on the videos are appreciated as well. While I look for this video, let's go over to you, Hoop. Talk about this range, the 7.4 to 7K range, because I think it's a range you like a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely like some guys here. There's some guys in this range that were on last week, and they performed well, and the prices really didn't move all that much. Mark Hubbard is a guy that we had interest in last week, and I think I'm going to go back to him. I mean, he's made 4 straight cuts, 43rd, 33rd, 37th, 12th last week. Just been playing solid golf, like all around. 7.4K. Like I'm gonna take a chance on him this week. Right below him, Scott Stallings. Same type thing. He's made 3 straight cuts, 48th, 6th, 39th. And the price hasn't moved all that much. He's at 7.3K. I'll be right back on him as well. Let's see. Who's the other guy down here? Oh, and Brian Stewart. I mean, all these guys are kind of the same to me. Like we were on them last week. They've been playing well. They didn't disappoint. The price hasn't moved all that much. In Stewart's case, it came down. He was 7.4 last week. Now he's down to 7.1. All 4 cuts, 43rd, 52nd, 20th, 30th, and he's at 7.1K here. So I'll be back on him too. I'm gonna ride these guys. They've been playing good golf until they disappoint. I mean, I understand that people might think, oh well, they're due for a letdown. I'm going to let them prove to me that letdown is going to happen. I'll keep playing these guys until we see a disappointing performance. Max Homa for tournaments, I've been on him quite a bit since golf returned. Results have not been great, but I just think he's, more talented than a lot of these guys down here. So I'll be looking to Homa a little bit. That's about it for me.
All right. And listen, if you want, guys, go to the Morning Peel 4809. We got Big T saying Scotty Scheffler is so bad. He says, I'd even play Jason Day over him. And
Wow.
Jason Day sucks.
Is there any way we can get that audio on here?
I can play it right now.
Yeah, why don't you just play it from your phone so
All
we
right,
can
hold on. Let's
hear
see.
it.
I have it on the 1.5 speed, so we'll have to see. He might be a little fast, but here
let AP talk about his guy.
He's going to be 9,500 next year or whatever he was saying. The guy has been straight dog shit the last month, and he's just not any good. And he's 7,800. Like, how can you play Scheffler over any of these? Like, I'd even play Jason Day over Scheffler, and I would never.
Wow, exposed. Wow, live exposure. That is impressive work right there, my friend.
He said play the whole thing through. I mean, I'll listen to it in a little bit here, but Big T, we got to keep this thing moving. Let's go to you, AP.
Made him eat his words live on air. Impressive investigative work there.
Yeah, you said you'd never play Jason Day, but you said, Big T, I would play Jason Day over Scotty Scheffler. Those were your words. But AP, talk to us about this range because you've been nailing the cheapies. I don't know if your Matty Wolf gem is in this range instead of the low 6 because I'll admit that 6K range is not the prettiest this week. So let me know what you're thinking in this range, AP.
I mean, like if my connection goes out in this range, it's not a big deal because I don't like this range very much at all either. It's going to be really tough, and I think you gotta be when you're making those final decisions in your lineups. Like I want to limit the guys I'm picking in this range, and so a lot of the guys who mentioned I think are fine if we land on there. So I'm going to prioritize some of those guys that we mentioned before, and whoever I land on or whoever's left is probably where I'll end up. But much like Hoop said, Max Homa, I have a lot of interest in him. Hoop, you kind of just nailed it. Like the guy he has the talent. He's a great ball striker. His putting hasn't been there. That's what's let him down. And we've seen bad putters do well here. And he's not like a terrible putter. He's just been putting terribly. And if he turns that around, he's going to have a good week. Then these other guys, I just feel like they're fine last pieces. The Stewards, the Stallings, you know, I think Hubbard is fine. Ryan Armour just seems a little bit too expensive for me. I don't know if I'm going to pay $7,400 for him. His irons have been great, though. Overall, I want to limit exposure to this range, and I only want at max one of these guys in my lineup, and it might be Max. Who knows?
All righty, let's go to the lower range then. Or actually, let's break it down first. Give me your three guys, Hoop. Who are your top three? Because I know you like a lot of guys in this range, so I want to definitely get your take on the three that you're keying in on.
I mean, yeah, I agree with AP. It's a risky range. I mean, you don't want to overexpose yourself to this range. So I'll go cheapest probably. Like I'd go Stewart, Homa, and then Hubbard. It's not a range you want to live in. Like you want these to be your last pieces in. So those three.
Yeah, one other guy I like here in this range, Scott Stallings. I think he could be really good. I think he's changed some stuff. He's done some stuff where it's changed. He lost some weight. It's changed his swing speed on his club. He's been rounding into really good form. So I think a lot of that is playing into some of the changes with him. So that's a guy I'm definitely on in this range. AP, who are some of your top three guys if you had to pick the three?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't like a ton of guys in this range, but one of them I forgot to mention that I got starred as Bud Cauley. I'll probably say Max Homa 1, Bud Cauley 2, and then I'll kind of have it a tie between like the Stallings and the Stewards and the Hubbard, those three in that 3 spot.
Yeah, for sure. And just to like to put this to bed for JSU saying, we'll play the full thing on the Wednesday show. Like, yes, Big T said he'd never play Jason Day, but he did say, if I had to play, I would play Jason Day over Scotty Scheffler. Like those were words that were said. So, whatever. Let's move on though.
The Tuesday crew is correct here. I mean, JSU and Big T are on the wrong side. Like he said it. I mean, you played the words. Like he said he'd play Jason Day over Scotty Scheffler. I mean, that's factual stuff. I mean, we played it live on the air. There's no refuting that. So they can play whatever they want tomorrow, but it's not going to change those words that Big T said on Monday. Yeah.
Now I need to like, and I'm not even that super high on Scotty Scheffler this week. I don't mind. Not even just to go ship the tournament because it'd be so good. But let's talk about this lower range because I'm struggling a bit at this range. It's not my favorite, but I have made some builds where I plugged in 3 just like star-studded players, and I landed on 6.9K, and I was like, man, like, can I make this work? Can I find a way to maybe get like one of these cheaper guys in here? Matt Neesmith is a guy that kind of popped for me when I was looking at some stats. Harry Higgs is cheaper than he normally is. That was something that kind of stuck out to me. So let's go to you first, AP. Is the Matty Wolf gem somehow in here? Do you got anyone here for us?
He is, and you asked about him last week. My boy, and I didn't like him last week. I said we fade him. The course didn't fit his game. It wasn't a ball. We wanted bombers, and we wanted guys that could score. Chesson Hadley, 6,500. No one's going to play him again. This is what happens. It's, a guy does well. He'll pick up steam. His price will go up. We'll get into that range where people start to play him. He's back down to 6,500. He's an excellent ball striker. He's the best ball striker in this range. And I'm hopping back on. Now, am I like crazy overweight on him? No. But I think with the route I want to go in my main tournament, like if I'm trying to play Justin Thomas in my main tournament, I'm going to need one of these guys like a Chesson Hadley to post something for me so I can fit Justin Thomas and maybe another stud or load up on that 8K range to fill it out. And he's going to be my guy that's going to do it this week in that range. Another guy I like is Matthew Neesmith. I just think that he's kind of a textbook play. If you look at his numbers, he's a great ball striker. He's ranked 4th since the return of golf on approach in this field. And so he's a guy that maybe could get some traction down in this range. But he's a guy I definitely like. Then I do think it gets kind of gross, kind of dicey down here. But I don't know. Like I think someone in this range could definitely be the ticket over some of those low 7K guys. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, Chesson Hadley too. He wasn't even that bad last week. He just missed the cut. He -4, right? So that's kind of encouraging too going into this week as well. So definitely think I might get some shares of him. Hoop, talk about this range. I know you like to play some Harry Higgs at times, and he's only 6.5K.
I somehow played Higgs in that round 3 showdown. I have no idea why. Like, his price was up. That was a disastrous round. Like, he was bogey. He birdied the par 5s. That's why I liked him, because he can birdie those par 5s. But man, it seemed like he bogeyed every other hole. I don't think I can go back to him this week. Like, if he was not hitting the green, it was auto bogey.
Yeah, I played him round 4 because the numbers were so good ball striking. And I was like, man, if this guy doesn't just screw up around the green and can putt for once, like, he'll absolutely crush. So yeah, I was on board with you. It did not go so well for me.
That was painful. This range, it's risky. Besides one guy that, almost the entire RPS crew was on last week at 6.9K, Mr. Big T's boy, Sammy Burns. Got it done. I mean, he's been playing good golf 2 weeks in a row. Price didn't really move. T24, T30. I'll be back on him this week. Michael Thompson, a guy, kind of not a known guy, but he's making cuts. Played really bad over the weekend in Detroit. That's the one concerning thing, but the price is cheap. Wierenski at 6.8K, been playing some decent golf. Neesmith is a guy to consider. It does get ugly. I'm not playing Higgs, man. He did me so dirty in that round 3. I'm going to avoid him. The last name, Aaron Wise. I mean, he's been bad too, but 6.5K. He's a talented guy, just cannot put it together. Might not 100% sure, but I might take some stabs on him this week. But you definitely don't want to live in this range either. I mean, finishing your lineups in the mid 7s seems somewhat optimal this week.
Yeah, like Michael Thompson's a funny guy you mentioned. Like, the stats are great, but like, if his name wasn't Michael Thompson, if it was like Rocky Thompson, you might get on board. He just sounds so lame. Like, I don't know. There's some of those guys, they got like the lamest names. I don't get as excited about it. It's so funny. And the one guy that wasn't mentioned yet was Henrik Norlander. I think some of his stats graded out really well. The ball striking looked good. AP, I don't know if that was a guy that we were talking about in the chat. I don't know if you mentioned him as well, but I think he's someone that's kind of interested in that's kind of caught my eye a bit. But AP, rank your 6K range guys. Give me your top 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Chesson Hadley 1, Neesmith 2, and then I'm gonna say I had the guy up. I mean, it gets so tough. Like, I don't want to force the issue on some of these other guys. Like, I feel like, I don't know. We don't know what like Nick Taylor's form's like. I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to play him or if you've heard his name, but I mean, he's cheap. I just don't know, so I'll stick with those two. I'll stick with my man Chesson Hadley. I think he's going to post. What I'll say is Hadley is going to post a top 15 finish this week.
Love it, man. I'm definitely excited to get some Hadley exposure now, the more we've talked about it. So, Hoop, give me your 2 or 3 guys here in this range that you're interested in.
Nick Taylor is an interesting name. He hasn't played since golf's return, but I mean, it feels like he doesn't belong in this range with these scrubs. So that's interesting. No one will play him because he hasn't played in any events, but definitely an interesting name. Sammy Burns, Wierenski, and I'll go with my boy Thompson, I guess. But it's dangerous down here. Very dangerous range.
Were you on Wierenski because Wilson gave you the goods? Did he pass that one along to you? And when he was telling everyone on Twitter?
No,
did you see Wilson on Twitter?
Yeah, what did he say?
Yeah, Wilson was saying on Twitter, there's this gem that no one knows about, and it was Richie Wierenski. So
yeah, it's actually funny that he was on. So he was on my winning team, and I went back and looked, and I built those teams by hand that were in the 555 on DK, and I didn't like how much exposure I was getting to guys in that 6K range. So I was like, you know what, I need one more person to put in the player pool just to switch it up a little bit. And I only made one lineup with him, Wierenski, and he was somehow on the winner. So it was pretty wild.
That's funny. That's a little shows you how the sauce is made a little bit there, how Hoop was digging through his lineups. But yeah, I would say
one thing, man, going real quick. I know we got to tidy this up, but Nick Watney, the COVID narrative, he's 6,100. Is anyone going to play that guy?
I would say no.
Yeah, he can't withdraw, right? For the COVID, he can't get
he's safe to continue on. You don't have to worry about a positive test.
Oh, that is true. That's funny. Yeah, like I like Neesmith, but this is not a range I love, and we gotta kind of wrap things up. So I wanted to get to some more important things. Let's do the top 3 overweight, top 3 underweight. So AP, give me first. We'll go overweight ones first, and then we'll go underweight. So AP, your 3 overweight guys on this slate.
Yeah, overweight. I'm gonna say in tournaments, Justin Thomas. I'm gonna pair him with Chesson Hadley, and then my other guy, probably Fitzpatrick.
All right, for me, it's gonna be Morikawa. Kuchar will definitely be overweight on in tournaments, and then Scott Stallings will be another guy I'm definitely overweight on in tournaments. How about you?
I'm gonna go Hovland, Woodland. I feel like I need another LAND, someone that ends with LAND to keep the trend going, but I'm not seeing anyone. So we'll go Hovland, Woodland, and my boy Ian Poulter.
Oh, yeah, Ian Poulter, that's a good one. AP, give me your 3 underweight guys.
Yeah, I mean, underweight's always tough. Like my fade, Spieth, underweight, Ricky, Spieth, Patrick Reed.
Oh man, that's so funny. Like I was coming up with mine in my head and those were my 3. So it's actually amazing that you said that. I know they're just like that. That range is just so gross.
Binion. If he's going to be chalk, Binion. I'll throw that out there.
All right. Hoop, give me your 3 in this range.
Xander, I'll be underweight on. Ricky Fowler, I mean, and Patrick Reed. I mean, that's just too easy. So I'll give you one extra, one bonus that'll be underweight on, and that will be. I know you guys like Kuchar, but I think I'm going to come in under on Kuchar. He's rubbed me the wrong way lately. So I'll say Kuchar.
All righty. Let's give out our winners. Who are the winners going to be this week? And if you guys could, please hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video, guys. That'll help us out a ton. If you like what you've watched, we'd really, really appreciate it. But now let's get on to the winners. So let's go with you, AP, first. Who's the guy winning the whole thing?
So, okay, I'm going to do this a different way because I can't say, I mean, Justin Thomas is the favorite this week. And I feel like this course is just too perfect for his game when he's on point. And I definitely see him winning at Murfield at some point in time. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to say Billy Ho wins, and next week, my boy Justin Thomas wins.
There we go. A little preview to next week as well. Hoop, give us your winner. You've been riding the hot streak, and you've been calling these guys pretty well, so I'm curious to hear who your top dog is.
I'm going with Mr. Hovland, man. The game's been on point, just missing by a little, and I think he gets it done here this week. Just playing phenomenal golf. Short game's improved. Just needs to make some putts, and I think he does this week. So give me Hovland.
All right, I'm going to give you my winner, and I'm going with Brooks, man. I really think he shows out here, has a big day. The game has been looking a lot better, too. I'm going to go with Brooks as my guy that takes this thing down. I will say one thing. Betting these is not really the most profitable thing because they move the lines too much where all these guys are like 15-1. That's one of the issues here. Not a lot of value on that. So if you are in the betting world of that, that's one of the issues that we kind of have. But, yeah, Brooks is my guy. I think that takes this one home. But listen, guys, we got to get on out of here. It was great hanging out with you guys. If you want to, please subscribe to our site. You get access to all of us, right? All you got to do is join in on the golf channels, right? Hit the ad on like Hoop, me, AP. We'll answer questions for you guys all the time. Big T, he's up at different hours. So there's tons of awesome content going on. We got the basketball, the TBT going on. We got great stuff with that. LOL, CSGO. Jaime's been killing it with soccer. I mean, so much good stuff at Rum Pure Sports, guys. So please jump on over there, hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video. We'd appreciate it. But we got to get on out of here. For me, Travis Mangone, Hoop, and AP, we're out of here.